Let me ask you something. What do you do when the man you married, the man you trusted with your life, laughs at your father's death, hacks your phone, stalks every person you date, threatens strangers, and turns your children into terrified witnesses of his rage? Most people would break. Most people did tell me to break. But me, I stayed quiet. I stayed calm. I stayed patient. And when the time came, I became the karma he thought he'd never face. Because nobody, and I mean nobody, humiliates me, abuses me, violates me, destroys my peace, terrifies my kids, and walks away smiling. Not anymore. If you've ever dealt with someone who thought they could control you financially, emotionally, or mentally, hit that like button and buckle up. Because the story I'm about to tell you is one of the most shocking, infuriating, and ultimately satisfying revenge arcs you'll hear today. This isn't just revenge. This is rebirth. I'm a 45-year-old woman, and a few years ago, I was still married to a man I thought I'd spend the rest of my life with. He was 42, charming to everyone else, but inside our home, something darker grew year after year. From the outside, we were a normal couple, 2 full-time jobs, kids, a shared apartment, comfortable income. At least, that's what I thought. We never lived lavishly, or so I believed. I didn't care for fancy clothes, salons, luxury bags. I wasn't the type. He was, and at first, I didn't mind that he liked nicer things. I believed people express themselves differently, but gradually, little things began to feel wrong. Like how he always knew exactly how much money I made, exactly when my salary hit the account, every single transaction I made, because he had full access to my bank account. But I never had access to his. Suspicious sign number 1? Yes, but I brushed it off. Because love makes you stupidly forgiving. We shared household costs, or at least, we were supposed to. But over time, it felt like I was paying more and more and more. One day, I looked at my balance and felt cold panic. Where did the money go? I asked. He avoided eye contact, shrugged, said something about unexpected expenses. Suspicious sign number 2. I should have pressed harder. I should have looked deeper. But I didn't. Not yet. Instead, I kept working, kept paying, kept carrying the load, and I told myself, he's my husband. I trust him. But looking back, I wasn't trusting him. I was afraid of what I'd find if I stopped. And I was right to be afraid. The truth came out only after he moved out. Long after the emotional storms, the fights, the distance, the shame, the belittling. Out of nowhere, he confessed. He had taken a huge loan behind my back, and when I asked what the money was spent on, TVs, PlayStations, cars, clothes, all the shiny things I never approved of buying, he'd been living a luxury lifestyle, with money that didn't exist. And worst of all, he reassured me, every time I questioned it, relax, we can afford everything. He lied, to keep buying toys. Then there was the intimacy. I won't go into explicit detail, but let's just say he pushed. He pressured. He acted like a tantruming child if I wasn't in the mood. The less I wanted him, the angrier he became. The more he belittled me. He made me feel unattractive, ungrateful, cold. But the truth, my heart had already started leaving the relationship long before my body did. After years of emotional rot, I finally asked for a divorce. It wasn't impulsive. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't a fight. It was a quiet decision I'd brewed for years, the kind of decision women make when hope dies slowly. But even after the divorce, we made the biggest mistake of all. We continued living together for a while. Not my idea, his insistence. And in that time, things went from bad to dangerous. He secretly hacked my phone. Not just my phone, every single account. WhatsApp, Messenger, Facebook, DMs, everything. It was like living with a ghost who read over your shoulder 24/7. But the nightmare didn't stop there. After the divorce, I started dating again. Nothing serious, just trying to feel normal. But he knew. Of course he knew. Because he had access to my phone, he took the names of every man I talked to and harassed them. One man received creepy calls in the middle of the night. My ex made him a dating profile on gay apps, uploaded his phone number, sent strangers to harass him. Another man, my ex threatened to show up at his house and beat him up. He stalked my location using Instagram posts, called me over and over, screamed through the phone, threatened entire groups of people at the events I attended. I stayed calm, because my kids were always nearby, always listening, always scared. My daughter cried one night, calling me, Mom. Dad is so angry. Please come home. Please come back. He sounds crazy. That night, something inside me cracked, and something else hardened. He wished I'd get STDs. He wished I'd get beaten by men I dated. He called me slurs in front of our children. He tried to twist custody, tried to take full control, but I didn't react. Not once. Not because I was weak, but because I knew reacting would feed him. I stayed silent, cold, strategic, a doormat on the outside, but planning absolutely everything on the inside. The final straw wasn't even about me. It was about my father. He passed away after a long illness. My heart was already shattered, and my ex, the man who once promised to love me, laughed. Too bad you don't have parents to pay your rent like I do, he said. He laughed, and I said nothing. But that night, I stopped being a wife, stopped being an ex, stopped being a victim. I became his reckoning. Months later, during a school event, he exploded. He screamed at me, cursed, threw another one of his manic tantrums. In public, in front of the kids, they ran away from him crying. Other parents called CPS immediately. That was the day the world finally saw what I had been hiding for years. I didn't need to manipulate anything. He exposed himself. CPS got involved. I told them everything. He raged and screamed even during our meeting. That meeting changed everything. I got sole custody. He got supervised weekends, and suddenly, his power over me evaporated. But my revenge? That was still coming. Revenge didn't look like slashing tires, burning clothes, or dramatic scenes. My revenge was elegant, silent, legal, and permanent. CPS saw his violence, his instability, his inability to control himself. He demanded 50-50 its custody. I said no, I wanted my kids safe. The authorities sided with me. One victory. He refused to sign child support documents, refused to cooperate, refused to take responsibility. So I took him to court. The judge wasn't amused. Child support became automatic, pulled from his paycheck without asking him, up to a third of his income. Gone. 2 victories. I had quietly told my ex-mother-in-law about the secret loans he took behind my back. His parents stopped trusting him with money. They started paying his living expenses directly. He had zero control over his own finances. 3 victories. His new girlfriend hated me. She texted me paragraphs insulting me, calling me insane, criticizing my kids, my parenting, my finances, all while defending the man who had screamed at children, stalked me, hacked my phone, taken secret loans, refused to pay child support. When she told me I was manipulative, I replied, "Are you manipulated? Or just stupid?" She exploded. I blocked her. Then I forwarded her messages to my ex-mother-in-law, who was furious. 4 victories. After everything he put me through, his life now looks like this. Full custody? Gone. Financial freedom? Gone. Reputation? Damaged. Relationship with his kids? Fragile. Control over me? Non-existent. Child support? Automatic, unavoidable. Meanwhile, I am thriving, stable, free, emotionally healthy. My kids are happy, bubbly, healing. I rebuilt my life piece by piece. His only punishment? Living with the consequences of everything he ever did to me. Every single day. That is my revenge. The climax wasn't one big explosion. It was the slow, beautiful realization that he finally understood. He lost. Not because I fought dirty. Not because I screamed. Not because I retaliated. But because I stopped being afraid. Stopped being controlled. Stopped being his victim. His meltdown exposed him. The courts humbled him. His own choices ruined him. And I walked away clean, free, untouchable. The last time I saw him, he wouldn't even look at me. Not with anger. Not with arrogance. Just shame. And God. That was the sweetest revenge of all. Do I regret any of it? Not one single second. Karma doesn't always come naturally. Sometimes you have to hold its hand and walk it right to the front door of the person who broke you. And when karma knocks, you stand behind it and smile. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button and tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed? And of course, subscribe for more stories like this.